All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have not sat down in a long time to break down some of the new info. There's a lot of new info coming out. Obviously, Call of Duty tweeted out last week that there's going to be some surprises for the beta. I kind of thought that it was going to, I know, who was it? Ghost of Hope, I think, tweeted it out. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a Warzone and DMZ beta, but we're not going to get DMZ beta, unfortunately. We are going to be getting a first look at a campaign mission during the beta. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to even try it. I am curious to see if we're going to get another classic Call of Duty or if it's going to be just like another COD that takes place in a giant open world map. And like, Call of Duty missions don't need to be open world, dude. Like, there's so many questionable decisions that are going on over there. And I think something I'll make a separate video on sometime this week leading up to the beta. Maybe we can get into it a little bit there, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to be trying this out. I'm just going to be waiting for when we get access to it ahead of time before the release of the game. But it's cool that, you know, people are going to be able to try it out. I think this is probably a way for them to say, hey, we want to prove to you guys this is gonna be like last year. It's not gonna be a disaster like Black Ops 7. Hopefully people who do try it come away with some nice opinions of it, hopefully. If it's negative, then we're just gonna be in for another year of probably a shit campaign. But it is getting close to that time. We got 1 week to go through, one more work week. I think, what the fuck is today? Monday? Friday, we'll be able to get our hands on this. It actually looks like, I didn't even see this. They did put out 11 a.m. Pacific time. So actually, that should be when I'm out of work. That should be when I'm out of work, I think, if I'm remembering how timescales work in the fucking continental US. So hopefully I'll be able to jump on right away. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be streaming or not when the beta pops off. I feel like I probably should. I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to look at, consult my my PC and see if she's up for it. But it's exciting. It's actually kind of crazy because I've been, and I don't mean to say this, like, haven't come off like Call of Duty is my entire fucking world and my entire existence. But my birthday is early in September, and I literally have been so focused on this and so focused on the release of the game because, you know, I'm doing this channel. I'm trying to plan for some content ahead of time to get, you know, an idea of how I want things to go. Bro, I've been so focused on this shit, bro. I literally forgot my birthday was coming up until yesterday. I was sitting down, me and my family were watching a movie. Terrible movie, by the way. I think it was like, what the fuck was it? It was like, not Children of the Corn, Clowns of the Corn, some shit like that. And it had me in the first half, but the second half, I was like, what are we doing? It had the fucking country sounding dude from Real Steel that was beating up on Hugh Jackman. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I've just been so focused on this lately, dude. It's honestly crazy that it's actually this close. And I know I'm probably, I mean, I'm a COD fanboy, bro. Like, I know there's probably not many people that are as excited about this as I am. And we did get the trailer for the beta showcasing some stuff. We'll get into that a little bit later, but this is kind of the main thing that I wanted to break down. They put out an image breaking down everything that we're going to be seeing in both betas. Obviously, we're gonna have the early access and then the open beta. So obviously, starting with Call of Duty next, we're gonna see 6v6 gameplay, kill block gameplay, which I think is important. You know, it's not just gonna be kill block. We'll have a chance to see how 6v6 looks on the other maps. Although I will say it would have been nice if we got that 6v6 look earlier when they did Fanatic Fest, because if it's gonna be 2 hours before we get our hands on it, I don't know how much hype that's gonna bring up. And I think what a lot of this marketing and a lot of what they're doing is making me feel, especially with a campaign mission being in the beta, I feel like they're taking the approach of, listen, we know you aren't gonna believe us, so we're gonna let you see it for yourself and get your own opinion of it. Because I think in previous games they've done this strategy where they're tweeting out like, we're going back to the basics, we're you know, going back to how things used to be, we're bringing back this, we're bringing back that. And I think this year they're really looking at, you know, it's not always been the best relationship between the studios and, you know, the community managers and the community, especially recently. And I think they're just saying, you know what, we're gonna let you guys get your own opinion of it, and we're just here to provide you guys with information here and there where we're able to give it to you. But as far as really, I guess, building like a reputation for the game or an image for the game, they're really just letting the community decide what that's going to look like. Black Ops 6 specifically was a game where the marketing got me hooked. I was here for it. I was loving what they were saying, and from what they were saying and the way the game was built up when it actually came out, to me it just did not match the experience that I was expecting. And I know a lot of people are of the mindset, you know, I'm not going to believe these devs, you know, no matter what they say anyway, which I feel like is probably the way you should be looking at a lot of things. But anyway, I spent a little bit too long talking about that specific thing. Obviously, community players, global creators are going to be invited to Call of Duty next. They'll be participating in the event. They sent out the emails. Unfortunately, this year, guys, didn't get my email. Maybe next year, you know, I'll talk to the people over over at Sledgehammer Games, and we'll get it sorted out. I'll be able to participate next year. And then they're gonna just give us more information about what we're gonna be seeing. So obviously we know what we're looking at. We know the names of the maps, the modes that are gonna be in there. This is probably they're gonna give us, you know, the images, the video, the breakdowns of, you know, what's inspiring this and how fucking this map actually takes place in the post invasion zone of this campaign mission where you would get to experience it before the invasion. So we really thought we wanted to bring some of the story into the multiplayer experience, whatever the fuck they're gonna say. But beta code giveaways is nice. I gotta try to get a beta code for my boy Dave so that way he can play with me in the early access beta. We'll see if I'm able to do that. I tweeted at Call of Duty community manager. He didn't reply to me. So, but yeah, and then once we get into the early access beta, that's where we're gonna see, obviously, like we've been discussing, campaign mission, multiplayer maps. It's gonna be Rooftops, Silkworm, Transit 213, Cachette, Lotus, and Kill Block. So outside of Kill Block, we're gonna get 5 actual 6v6 maps. I must be honest with you guys. Kill Block sounded like a really cool idea when they announced it, and I think that's what it's gonna end up being. I think when it's all said and done and people are putting out their retrospectives during like season 5, whatever the last season is gonna be for this game, I think it's gonna come down to it was a good idea, but does it actually mean it makes for a good map? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think Kill Block is going to be maybe received well at first, but I don't think its reputation over time is going to hold up to how interesting of a concept it is, considering it's different from other things that they've done. And then we're getting pretty much all the basic classic modes, which I think is different from other years if I'm not mistaken. The other betas I've participated in, unless I've just been like a TDM domination whore and I just never realized that they were available. But notably, what's missing in the early access beta is going to be Ground War. If we go down to the open beta, that is really where we're going to see Ground War come in. It looks like, what is this, 3 maps? The way they have this formatted is different from the multiplayer maps. I was actually looking at it. Transit, Cache. So we're going to have a different map. They're going to take out Lotus from the early access, and then we're going to have the map Lithium in the open beta. So I guess, you know, you only get to try this map if you're in early access, which, I mean, that's not really much of a perk, to be honest. Overall, I think there's a lot that we're going to be able to experience, man. I know I'm already, trust me, if you've been keeping up, if you've been liking the content that I've been putting up on the channel, we're going to be on Search and Destroy. You best fucking believe it. But obviously I'm going to be doing my thing on pubs. I want to try out the sniping because I'm kind of getting back into that a little bit. But now if we go ahead and hop over to Charlie Intel's Twitter account, we did get this image put out of what the skin is going to look like, the Monster Energy skin. I will say, I would like to know what the Little Caesar skin is going to look like, man. Little Caesar's been feeding the streets. I'm a Little Caesar's fiend, bruh. I had the fucking hot and ready skin, and I think every game that they've had one. I need to know if this rocket destroyed this fucking riot shield, because they said these were gonna be destructible. A fucking RPG. This better have broken this thing. It looks like it did because he wait. Oh no. No, dude. He's bent down. It snaps in. So already I'm like, is this gonna be like Clash's shield from fucking R6? Because I gotta be honest, I would fucking hate that. If someone can just walk around with a mobile head glitch and just pop it down and fucking like play heady snake off of this shit or whatever the fuck, because then he pops up and then he comes back down, the shield is still there, so it can tank a fucking RPG. Oh my god, dude. Oh fuck, dude. I was really excited to be able to destroy the fucking riot shields, bro. Fuck. I forget what they're called, like fucking whatever those new attachments are. I ordered for Apex attachments. The Apex attachments freak me out, dude. My thing always with Call of Duty is it's like they have good fundamentals, but then they try to experiment, and it's like, why are you fucking experimenting, dude? Because when they experiment, I'd argue it fails most of the time, and people don't like it when they change things from what the core experience of the game is. I just don't get, like, why is it so hard for you to just give us a core experience and maybe add crazy shit later on in the life cycle, like the last 2 seasons, but give us like a full first half of a game that's classic. They always got to add some fucking crazy shit, fucking grenade launchers, whatever it is, like that fucking mobile ICBM that you can put on, what was it, like SMGs or some shit? Oh man, that's gonna drive me crazy this year. But really, I mean, there wasn't really too much else in this that I was gonna break down. Obviously, they're hyping up their fucking smokes that fucking CS2 did before them. I really don't know how this is gonna play in Call of Duty.
But we also change it up and try to find those new ways to bring people in, new players.
This is such a small gripe, and I've gone this entire video without saying anything. It's like, this honestly just feels like a vlog. But right where he's like, we're always looking at new ways to bring people in and bring in new players. Bro, at a certain point, you gotta stabilize the experience of this fucking game and this franchise so that way the players you bring in will actually fucking stick around. I get Steam numbers aren't everything because, you know, obviously there's consoles and we can't see the player numbers for that. The gaming market stays the same across all platforms. For the most part, all games are available on all platforms. Obviously, Xbox is the new exclusivity thing now. But I would have to imagine the competition stays the same regardless of what platform you're on. So I would imagine the console numbers look very similar to the Steam numbers in terms of like the fluctuations we're seeing. And you can't even keep your players on for the whole year. You're losing them months after the game comes out. And I get, you know, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. They're focused on how much money the franchise is bringing in. But at a certain point, I'm like, why are we trying to grow this thing that is already one of the biggest franchises ever? I feel like Call of Duty attracts people in just based on name recognition alone. People know what Call of Duty is. And I think a big turnoff is when they see the people who are veterans of the game, people who like the franchise, saying that it's not in a good place. If that's the conversation around the game and the core people don't care for it anymore, why would new people want to come in if all they see when they look into it is negativity or talks about low numbers? Like, I don't really agree with that perspective. I mean, the good thing is we're only a couple days away now at this point. So I think with all that being said, we kind of went over everything we needed to look at. I think I will call it a video there. As always, if you are not subscribed, you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. We'll be uploading, I think, every day during the beta. But as always, I will talk to you guys later.